Hey everybody, and welcome straight to the Point Tennis in our 3-minute racket review series. Today's racket is the Head Radical Tour 630. In terms of the ground strokes, I'd give this an 8.5 out of 10. I think it's an incredibly controlled response, very similar to the Pro Tour molds. For me personally, I think it's just a great performer for more flat ball striking. If you want to hit through the court, it definitely allows you to feel that penetration as the ball shoots off the string bed. Not a ton of spin generation on tap, but I'm not sure that's to be expected from this type of frame. Next on to net play, I'd give it a 9.5 out of 10. I think the frame is super quick, easy to get in position, and the layup allows for a lot of penetration and heft behind your volleys. Next on to serving, I'd give it an 8.5 out of 10. I think it's really great for a flat or slice serve. I think I've marked this for similar frames like the Pro Tour 2.0. In terms of kick serves though, I will say that this 18x20 makes it tough to generate a lot of kick spin, so definitely don't look this way if you rely heavily on the kick serve. Next on a power, I'd give it a 7 out of 10. I think this is not a really powerful type frame, not a really powerful form factor, a thin beam 18x20 type frame. That being said, a lot of people that gravitate towards these type of frames aren't necessarily looking for a lot of power in the layup. Next on to control, I'd give it a 9 out of 10. I think this 18x20 drill pattern is one of the most controlled that I've used from Head. Just allows you to really go for smaller targets and feel comfortable going for, let's say, smaller windows on the court. Next on to spin, I'd give it a 7 out of 10. For this 95-inch form factor, it's got a good degree of spin, but nothing to write home. So moving on to stability, I think for a 95 square inch frame, it's going to be hard to come by something more stable than this. I'd give it like a 9 out of 10 because I think the way that it comes through the contact point just provides so much stability. You have a lot of heft behind the ball just based on the way that the weight is distributed in the middle upper hoop. And in general, it's just a really great frame to redirect shots with other people's pace. Next, moving on to comfort, I'd give this a 9 out of 10 as well. I think, in my opinion, it's got some of the best plush response of any frame I've used in the Radical line, even though it is more of a prestige Pro Tour PT57A type frame because it does share the same mold. In terms of how this one flexes, I feel like it has a lower yoke flex, and just to describe that further, it feels like right above the base of the handle, you get this sort of flexion point where the racket really snaps through contact as it lags behind you when you hit a ground stroke, a serve, something of that nature. Next on to our touch and responsiveness, I'd also give this a 9 out of 10. Again, the PT57A Pro Tour mold is one of the best in terms of its ability to let the ball sink into the string bed, but still give you that sensation that you know where it's sitting within there. I love this frame when I hit touch volleys. Really any type of interaction with the ball at the net, it's just an awesome response. Next to our Will It Lead category, I think if you come from a 95 square inch frame or even a mid-size frame, maybe you don't play tennis to necessarily win every point. It's a great option. I think most people that are an average tennis player should look elsewhere, but if you can generate your own pace, maybe you're of a bigger frame, bigger stature, this is definitely something you could use effectively in competitive play in 2025. Lastly, to our cosmetic section, I think I might have a controversial opinion here, but I think it's a little corny, a little cheesy, a little old school. Thanks everybody for tuning in to this 3-minute racket review. We'll see you in the next one.